Swasitam Charanam Tam Shri Guru Charanam Mande Ramana Krishtayu Tade Rupani Tam Charanam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Premdadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namo Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Bhaktivedanta Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishnuhamiste Devi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Shri Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram First of all, I offer my Ashwani Dharma Pranams, the lotus feet of our spiritual masters. Nitlai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayana Sai Maharaj Shri Gurudev, Nitlai Srimad Bhaktivedanta Shri Bhanga Sai Maharaj Shri Gurudev, the entire Bhagavad Guru Varga, our guardians, and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present here. For some reason, I really couldn't come today for class. So on his order, I am speaking a few words from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Since we've been hearing now, since many days, about Mahaprabhu's Ashtakala Leela, it would only seem nice that we can listen from this wonderful book. So we say that in Mahaprabhu's Ashtakala Leela, it takes place especially in Sri Ram Navadvip. And in Navadvip, we see that all the eightfold pastimes of Mahaprabhu, they take place according to the 8 segments of the day. And this is Mahaprabhu's Nitya Leela. No, this is not Mahaprabhu's Naimitik Leela. What is the difference between his Nitya Leela and his Naimitik Leela? Nitya Leela are those pastimes that are eternally going on in the spiritual world. And the fast simile means the exact pastimes that manifest in this material world, they are also called as Nitya Leela. And what is Naimitik Leela? Means it's incidental pastimes. They are those pastimes that correspond according to time, place and circumstance. Means they manifest accordingly, according to time, place and circumstance. But as Nitya Leela, they are spontaneous. Means there are 2 types of upasana. 2 types of worship. One is Sarasiki and one is Mantramayi. So what is Sarasiki Upasana? So Sarasiki Upasana means Ras means according to one's inherent spiritual mellow in which one is constitutionally situated in. According to his innate constitutional position, which is to serve Krishna in one of the 4 particular mellows of service, which is either in Dasya, the mode of servitude, or either in Sakya, the mode of friendship, or either Vatsalya, the mode of parenthood, or either in Madhuri, the mode of conjugal love. So being situated in one's swaras, in one's particular position, in one's particular relationship with Krishna, one accordingly serves Radha and Krishna. So this is Sarasiki Upasana. And what is Mantramayi Upasana? So Mantramayi Upasana means that worship which takes place according to certain segments of the day, according to certain pastimes. Like when we meditate on one particular pastime of Krishna, that is Mantramayi Upasana. Like when you only meditate on this Dambandhan Leela, which is the pastime of Krishna being bound by Mother Yashoda, when you only go deep into that Leela, that is called Mantramayi Upasana. And what is Sarasiki Upasana? So Sarasiki Upasana is the worship that flows spontaneously, like honey flowing from a jar. Means you meditate on all the 8 segments of the day. No. Krishna's Ashtakala Leela is divided into 8 segments of the day. Means the pastimes that take place early in the morning, that is 3 to 6, and then the pastimes that take place from 6 to 9, and the forenoon pastimes from 9 to 12, and then the Madhyana Leela from 12 to 3, 3 to 6. 6 to 9 and the Ratri Leela, 9 to 12. So the Ratri Leela is most confidential. The Leela that takes place in the Kunjas of Vrindavan is very confidential. So not everyone is qualified to remember those Leelas. But there are certain Leelas which are more conducive for every sadhaka. Means according to his particular qualification, every sadhaka or sadhika, they can meditate on one particular pastime of Krishna. So this is how Sarasiki Upasana takes place. Now we see that just as Radha and Krishna's leelas are meditated upon according to Sarasiki and according to Mantramani, similarly Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's leelas are also meditated according to these two different types of worship, which is Sarasiki and Mantramani. So now all these leelas that we're listening now from this book, Gaur Govind Leelamrit, Bhutika. That is the name of this book. Means the essence of all of Gaur Govinda's leelas have been given in this book. Ashtakalya Leela. Now these pastimes that we've been hearing from the Vaishnavas, they constitute Sarasiki Upasana. So in this way, this particular sadhak, this Jatrati sadhak, he is especially absorbed in all these pastimes. There is the Jatrati sadhak and the Ajatrati sadhak. So who is the Jatrati sadhak? The Jatrati sadhak is he in whom Bhav is arisen. And what is Bhav? Bhav is the preliminary stage of prema. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma. There we see, there Rupa Goswami is described. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma. There he said that Prema Shuryansu Shamyava Krishvish Chittamasrina Kridaso Bhava Uchate, he said. Therein he said that what is Bhav? Bhav is Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma. So what is this Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma? Means the devotional practitioner, the sadhak, his heart is situated on this platform of pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva. What is this Visheshatma? Visheshatma means, we see that there is Sat, Chit and Ananda. So what is Sat? It is eternity. Means Satta. Means the soul is everlasting and eternal. It is not prone to any of the mundane transformations that the material body is prone to. What are they? Birth. No. And then growth. And then decay. And then death. So this is how the material body is prone to. But the soul is transcendental to all these different elements of life. So this is Satta. This is eternity. And what is Chit? Chit means knowledge, sentience, cognizance. And what is this knowledge? This Sambandha Jnana. And what is that Sambandha? The rise of Radha and Krishna in that particular rasa, in such and such ways. And what is Ananda? Ananda is who? Ananda is what? Ananda is predominating deity of Ananda, which is this pure bliss, Srimati Radhika herself. She is Ananda Swarupi. So when one serves Radha and Krishna, then this Ananda is automatically relished in one's heart. This is called Sasamvedya Dasha. Sasamvedya Dasha means whatever Radha and Krishna are relishing in their hearts is automatically relished in the hearts of their associates as well. So what is the speciality of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika? The maidservants of Srimati Radhika need not separately enjoy with Krishna. Why? Because they have this symptom of prema called Sasamvedya Dasha manifesting in their hearts all the time. And what is this Sasamvedya Dasha? Means whatever Radha and Krishna are experiencing in their meeting, whatever ecstatic transformations of prema they are relishing, will automatically reflect in their hearts as well. So this is Sasamvedya Dasha. So this is a fraction of Ananda. So this is Sat Chit Ananda. So Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Shuryantu Samyamak. Means Prema Shurya Amshu Samyamak. Means what is the Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma? This is a ray of prema. If prema is compared to the sun, then Bhav is like a ray of this prema, of this sun. And Kridaso Bhava Uchate. And what does it do? It should be Chitta Mashunyam Kridaso Bhava Uchate. It melts the heart with various transformations. So this is Bhav. So in this way, when this Sat Chit Ananda arises in the heart of a devotee, he is called Jatrati Sadhaka. So all these pastimes that we hear from the Vaishnavas, they are especially for the Jatrati Sadhaka. Means in whom Bhav is arisen. So you ask yourself, has Bhav arisen in you or not? Yes or no? then why are we listening to all these leaders? Bhava has not arisen in us. We are ajatati sadhakas. And why are we listening to these pastimes? Why? Because we hope to have this greed. No. What is this greed? This laulya. How is Rupa Goswami defined this greed? No. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kriyatam Yadi Guropi Lapyate Tattar Laulyam Apimulyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukritai Nalapyate. Means this greed, this Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati, means when your mati, when your consciousness is infused with this greed, this particular longing. No, it's called Utkantha. What is the meaning of Utkantha? Utkantha means your life air reaches up to your throat. Kant means your throat. So your life air is reaching up to your throat. Means you're very anxious to have something. So similarly, when you have this Utkantha, when you have this anxiety in your heart, saying, I want this, no matter what, I want this, then the qualification will come to relish all these leaders that we hear in your heart. Automatically the qualification will come. Once one devotee, senior devotee, she asked Gurudev that when will you give me this Siddha Pranali? I want this Siddha Pranali. Means I want to know the name of my eternal form. I want to know how my eternal form looks like. I want to know how I serve Radha and Krishna and what is my service. When will you give me this Siddha Pranali? And this devotee was very senior. One of the senior most disciples of Srila Swami Maharaj also. No. So this devotee was not someone who was very new. That Gurudev could just chastise, saying, hey, why are you asking all these questions? Gurudev told this devotee, I will give you Siddha Pranali when it is the only thing you desire, he said. When that is the only thing you desire, then I will give you Siddha Pranali, he said. So when will that day come when we only desire this? That I want to relish these leaders in my heart. Not just relish, I want to be part of these leaders. When will that come? When we have greed. Greed is the smallest fraction of that power, that sentiment to relish these pastimes. So when you have greed, automatically you'll have this awakening in your heart. And I want to relish these leaders and I want to be a part of these pastimes. So therefore, when the Vaishnavas are speaking these pastimes, though we are not qualified to listen to them, still they speak. Why? Because no matter how many anarthas we have, so many different types of anarthas, where can we even start? Begin to describe them. So many different kinds of anarthas. Gross, subtle, more subtle, most subtle, so many different types of anarthas. How can we be free of these anarthas? What is the medicine? To listen to these leaders, to listen to these pastimes. No, this is Gurudev's mood. They will ask Gurudev also, saying, why are you speaking such confidential leaders? No. Like we see some years before also, the Vaishnavas spoke on Gita Govind, Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govind. They spoke on Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Krishna Bhavanamrit. They spoke on Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's Govinda Leela Amrit. These are very high-class books. Not everyone is qualified to listen to them. Also they spoke on Srila Rupa Goswami's Utkalika Vallari. Also on Mas Panchadhari. They spoke on all these high-class books. What is the reason? So that we can have this greed in our lives. Gurudev says, when there is a river in front of you, what will you do? Will you swim across the river or will you wait for the river to dry and then walk across? What will you do? No, we learn to swim across the river. No, not that I'll wait for the river to dry and then I'll cross the river. And that will never happen. No, the river will never dry in front of your eyes. Similarly, despite us having so many anarthas, still, if we have that greed in our hearts, that eagerness, that no, I have to listen, then one day it will bear fruit. No. Like now our heart has many holes now. We cannot retain what we listen. No. Like if we ask ourselves, like, can you say one thing that Prabhuji spoke about yesterday in class? One thing? Can anyone say one thing at least? They remember at least one thing that they heard yesterday. At least one thing does anyone remember? I for myself don't remember also. Because our heart has so many holes, we cannot retain. But still, in spite of that, the more and more we listen, what will happen? Our heart, which has so many holes, automatically those holes will get covered by themselves. Means, like when we have a bath, what happens? When we have a bath, all the water flows off our body and goes into the drain. But still, some drops of water, they cling on to our bodies. No. Some drops of water, they still attach to our bodies. That is why we feel refreshed. Although we have a bath and all the water goes away, still we feel refreshed. Why? Because of those drops of water. Similarly, the more and more we listen to these leelas, the more and more we listen to these pastimes, and automatically we have this greed. And then by having that greed will serve as a platform. And then, when that greed will serve as a platform, then we can hope to advance gradually, further and further. Therefore, we must never lose hope. Thinking all these leelas are very high class, I'm not qualified to listen to them. I can't even remember anything. Never give up. Gurudev always says that. Don't be hopeless, he says. No? Don't be hopeless, he says. No matter how many challenges you come across in your life, no matter how many obstacles you come across in your life, never give up, he says. If you fall down 1,000 times, then stand up 1,000 times, he will say. Never give up, he will say. He said, if you have come this far, Gurudev always says in Harita, if you come this far, if Guru Vaishnavas, out of the causeless mercy, they have taught us out of our homes, out of our countries, they have taught us here to Vrindavan, they have made us stay here for so many years, they have engaged us in all the temple activities, they have engaged us in our sadhana. If they have brought us this far, will they not take us a little further ahead also? No. It is understood now that they take us a little further ahead also. No, it's not that they just leave us where we are. No. Similarly, Guru says, don't lose hope. The more and more you listen, the more and more you will retain. And the more and more you have realization. Because right now we have theoretical understanding. So that theoretical understanding should transform into realized knowledge. And only when it will transform into realized knowledge, then we can hope to have some tangible spiritual advancement. So here we see that when this ray of prema enters the sadhak's heart, then he starts to realize who he is. And what is his relationship with Nitya-lila? What is his relationship with Naimitic Lila? Like we see now, in Mahaprabhu's Lila also, there is Nitya and Naimitic. Like some years before also, the Vaishnavas, they asked us this question, saying that in the Gaura Gayatri, we see that Mahaprabhu's sannyas name is mentioned. No, in the Gaura Gayatri. What is it? Chaitanya. No. So he sees sannyas name is mentioned in the Gaura Gayatri. So here, the Vaishnavas said, is Mahaprabhu's sannyas lila eternal or temporary? That is the question. No, because Mahaprabhu's sannyas lila is very painful for the devotees. They cannot bear to listen to this lila. It gives them so much pain. Therefore we see Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in his Chaitanya Bhagavat, he has not mentioned many of Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Jagannath Puri. He has actually stopped. And where he has stopped, from there, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has begun. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he said, I'm taking the remnants of Vrindavan Das Thakur. Whatever remnants he has left, I'm taking. So this is the mood of our Guru Varga. They never act independently. Whatever our acharyas are left behind, they take those remnants. Like we see even in the Bhagavatam also. Sanatana Goswami, what has he said? He has said, I'm taking the remnants of Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on the Bhagavatam. So, like once, Sridhar Swami, when he was in Kashi, he wrote a commentary on the Gita. When he wrote a commentary on the Gita, all the Mayavadis, they became so envious. They said, oh, now he was one of us, but now he's taking the side of the bhaktas and the devotees. So then what did they do? They said, his commentary is not bona fide. Our commentary is bona fide. So this way they started doing a lot of false preaching. So then what happened? They said, okay, we'll ask Kashi Vishwanath. We'll ask him whose commentary is bona fide. And what did Lord Shiva say? Aham Vriti Navetivar Prasadata. So there we see, what did Kashi Vishwanath say? He says, I know what the Bhagavad is. Vyas knows what the Bhagavad is. And the others may or may not know. But Sridhar Swami, he definitely knows. Why? Because he has the mercy of Sri Narasimhadev. So therefore Sridhar Swami is the original commentator on the Bhagavatam. And then Sanatana Goswami, when he wrote his commentary on the Bhagavatam, he said, whatever remnants I've taken from Sridhar Swami, I've only expanded those remnants in the form of this commentary. And when Jiva Goswami wrote his commentary on the Bhagavatam, he said, whatever remnants are taken, this commentary only consists of those remnants that are received from Sridhar Swami and Sanatana Goswami. And when Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote his commentary on the Bhagavatam, the Sarata Darshini, he said, I'm only taking the remnants of Sridhar Swami, Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami. And when Gurudev wrote his commentary on the Rasa Panchadhyaya, he said, I'm taking the remnants of all these acharyas. Similarly, here also you see, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I'm only taking the remnants of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. I'm not acting independently. Whatever remnants he has left behind for me, I'm taking them. And what are those remnants? Especially Mahaprabhu's Leela and Jagannath Puri. Because Vrindavan Das Thakur, he could not tolerate this separation that the devotees are feeling. No, he could not tolerate that. It was very painful for him. No. You see, this viraha is a very painful thing to digest for devotees. Right now, we don't have viraha, this separation. No. If we really had separation, would we be joking around, playing, seeing movies? No. We're so happy, no? We see movies, we play around, we do as we wish. No. Where is the viraha? Where is the separation? No. Where is it? No. Ask yourself. Buddha says, oh, you place your hand on your chest and you ask yourself, you have this separation or not? No. Like the Vaishnavas were saying the other day in Harikatha, no? How many people come to me and ask me about sadhana bhajan? How many people are coming and asking me? Practically zero. Nil. How many people are coming and asking me? So do we really have this separation or not? But Vrindavan Das Thakur, his heart is burning in that separation. That separation is like a forest fire. He said that that separation, if you combine all the different poisonous things in this world, you place that on one scale, and you place the separation that the associates of Mahaprabhu feel on another scale, this cannot even compare to the separation that they are feeling. Therefore, Vrindavan Das Thakur has not written anything about Mahaprabhu's sannyas lila. Like Kavi Karnapur Goswami also, when he wrote Ananda Vrindavan Champu, there he has only described up and until Radha Krishna's Julan Leela. Only up and until Radha Krishna's swing pastimes is described, and then he has left, he's finished the book. Because he said, I cannot tolerate Krishna going to Mathura and Dwaraka, and all the gopis weeping in separation from him. I cannot tolerate this. So Vrindavan Das Thakur has not written all of that. But Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, out of his great mercy, he has written. Why? Because he especially had the blessings of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami, he had this Kadacha, means his diary. And what was written in that diary? All that he had heard from Sri Sarup Damodar Goswami. Because Sarup Damodar Goswami was like Mahaprabhu's shadow. Wherever Mahaprabhu was, Sarup Damodar Goswami was always with him, along with Raya Ramananda Prabhu in the Gambhira. So all these different ecstasies that Mahaprabhu was experiencing in the Gambhira, all these different moods of Srimati Radhika, that he was experiencing, all these different transformations of prem that were appearing on him, that were driving him like, no, that were making him delirious, transcendently mad. All these things, Sarup Damodar Goswami, he witnessed firsthand. And then he told Raghunath Das Goswami everything. Raghunath Das Goswami had written everything down, then he gave to Kaviraj Goswami. So then in this way, Kaviraj Goswami, he compiled this Chaitanya Charitamrita. And you see, especially in Adi Leela, in the 4th chapter, in the very beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, he has described why Mahaprabhu came to this world. What was his purpose? What was his intention? And there you see, he has especially described what is Mahaprabhu's Nitya Leela. That is, he especially came to relish the bhavs of Srimati Radhika. What are the bhavs? Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, Rood, Adhirood, Modan, Madanakya Mahabhav. All these different bhavs that Srimati Radhika is experiencing, Mahaprabhu also experienced. So this is his Nitya Leela. But this Naimitic Leela, how can we reconcile? No. If you see technically, in one way Mahaprabhu is already relishing these moods of Srimati Radhika in eternal Navadvip Bhav, in Shvedadvip. He is also relishing them in Navadvip itself. So then what need was there for him to relish in Jagannath Puri then? What need was there for him? Because he is Parama Karun also. He is Rasik Shekhar and he is also Parama Karun. Parama Karun means he is supremely compassionate. Means whatever bhavs he is experiencing, he wants the jivas also to relish a particle of those bhavs, not the bhav that he himself is experiencing. Because the bhav that Srimati Radhika herself is experiencing cannot be given to any jiva. Rather, whatever her manjaris are experiencing, whatever her maidservants are experiencing, that can be given, but not Srimati Radhika's Mahaprasad. No. So therefore, I was just speaking that this Naimitic Leela and Nitya Leela should be perfectly understood. Or else if you don't understand all these things, then there will be rasabhas. Then you will not know which Leela to think about, which Leela to meditate on. You will not have any understanding. So the question here that the Vaishnavas asked was, is Mahaprabhu's Sannyas Leela Nitya or Naimitic? So then many of us have heard from Gurudev, now Mahaprabhu's Sannyas Leela is Naimitic. It is not Nitya. No. How can it be Nitya? How can it be eternal? No, Mahaprabhu taking sannyas and leaving now to eat. Can any devotee tolerate that? No. If you go to many temples, if you go to Radha Damodar, Radha Gokulananda, you can see one picture on the wall. In that picture you can see Mahaprabhu sitting down and everyone around him are weeping. Everyone around him, they are weeping. And one person is sitting behind Mahaprabhu and he's trying to shave Mahaprabhu's head. So what is this picture about? This picture is about Mahaprabhu's sannyas leela. He's going to accept sannyas. So everyone in and around him, they're weeping so much. No. Do you see any devotee that happy there? Do you see one smiling face there? No. They cannot tolerate this separation. Sometimes some devotees would tell Gurudev that, oh Gurudev, we are hearing that separation is even higher than meeting. Gurudev said, yes, is that true? Is separation higher than meeting? If separation is higher than meeting, then you tell me, can any Brajavasi tolerate Radha and Krishna being separated from each other? Can any Brajavasi tolerate that? And they said, no. And how can you say that separation is higher than meeting? You can only think of that separation being higher than meeting in terms of the sadhaka. Only the sadhaka who has not had darshan of Radha and Krishna, he can meditate upon them in a mood of separation. Only that kind of sadhaka. But for those who are siddha, who are eternally perfect, or the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna, for them there is no question of separation being higher than meeting. Rather, separation, what does it do? It only complements this mood of meeting. Means, it nourishes meeting. No. It only nourishes. So similarly here, this separation that the devotees are feeling after Mahaprabhu took sannyas and after he left, how can we think that this Leela is a big deal? So when we told this to the Vaishnavas, we would ask different, each and every one of us. The Vaishnavas said, if that is the case, then why is Mahaprabhu's name mentioned in the Gaurav Bhakti? No. If that is the case, if you say that Mahaprabhu's sannyas Leela is Naimitic, then why is his name mentioned in the Gaurav Bhakti? No. And the Vaishnavas, they told us that if you don't even know the meaning of the Gayatri mantras, what you're uttering, what you're chanting, then what is the point of even chanting them 3 times a day? Morning, afternoon, night, no. And what they said is true actually. If we don't have any proper understanding of our Gayatri mantras, what they stand for, what they mean, who is the predominating deity of every mantra, no. And what is the point of even chanting them then? Superficially, no. Some devotees have chanted for so many years and then they even give up chanting the Gayatri mantras. So what is the use? They have not received anything until now. Therefore, the Vaishnavas said, go deep when you're chanting these mantras. Don't chant them superficially. Or else many years will pass. Many, many years. Go deep. And how can you go deep? You go deep only when you try meditating on them. Like with a one point in mind. So then the Vaishnavas said that you see in the Gaur Gayatri, Mahaprabhu's sannyas name is mentioned. And how can you say that the sannyas Leela is Naimitic? No. So there you see, in the Gaur Gayatri also, first, this name of Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi is mentioned. But what is the last name there of Mahaprabhu? No, the last name of Mahaprabhu in the Gaur Gayatri corresponds to his which Leela? No, it was Navadip Leela. No, the last name in Mahaprabhu in the Gaur Gayatri corresponds to his Navadip Leela. Why? Because Navadip Leela is where Mahaprabhu is present in his full-fledged form. He is present in his complete form there, in his Navadip Leela. As Sri Sachinandam Gaudhari. No. The Gurudev gives this example that Srimati Radhika, she is present in her complete form as Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radhika in Vrindavan. And when she is present in Uddhav Kyari, she is known as Viyogini Radhika. Radhika herself does not leave Vrindavan and only her manifestation is present there in Uddhav Kyari. And who is the manifestation of Srimati Radhika? Who goes to Kurukshetra. That is Samyogini Radhika. So similarly, Mahaprabhu in his original form never leaves Navadvip. He never takes one step out of Navadvip. He is present there eternally as Sri Sachinandan Gaurahari. So then who is the Mahaprabhu who goes to Jagannath Puri, South India and all these different places? Mahaprabhu in those particular modes of Srimati Radhika. So similarly you see that the Gaur Gayatri culminates in this form of Mahaprabhu. Which form? In his Navadvip form. In his form as Sri Sachinandan Gaurahari. So in this way we should meditate on the Gaur Gayatri. Or else, how can we have the proper understanding of who Mahaprabhu is? Like this question sometimes arises also about Mahaprabhu's ontological position. Who is he? No. Like once some devotees were asking this question, that if Mahaprabhu is always absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radhika, then why do you apply Tulsi on his feet? No. Think about it. No. If Mahaprabhu is always in the mood of a devotee, then why do you apply Tulsi on his feet then? No. Why do you apply? Mahaprabhu, if anyone would tell Mahaprabhu that you are God, that you are Krishna, he would close his ears. He said, Vishnu, Vishnu, don't say such things, he said. Why are you saying these offensive things? He said. Why don't we apply Tulsi on his feet? Why? Is it bona fide enough? They asked this question to Guru Varga. Guru Varga said, it is bona fide. Because Mahaprabhu, in his mood, he is absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radhika. Who are we to judge his mood? No. For us, he is Bhagavan himself. Mahaprabhu, he himself is absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radhika. Like we see, when Mahaprabhu went to South India, and when he got this book, Krishna Karnamrit, there you see in Krishna Karnamrit, there is no, the glorification of Krishna far exceeds the glorification of Srimati Radhika. There Srimati Radhika is only glorified as a maidservant of Krishna by Sri Vidamohan Thakur. But then why do we respect, but then why does Mahaprabhu love this book so much? Why? Because he is in the mood of Srimati Radhika. No. And what does Srimati Radhika desire to listen? Does Srimati Radhika desire to listen to her own glories? No. Radharani, she desires to listen to Krishna's glories. No. Her life and soul is only to listen to Krishna's glories. That is what she desires. No. So therefore, Mahaprabhu being absorbed in Radha Bhava, he especially treasured this book so much, Krishna Karnamrit. Why? Because this is a glorification of Krishna. This is a glorification of Krishna's Naam, Rup, Gun, Leela. So therefore, Mahaprabhu was so happy. Similarly, Mahaprabhu, he is absorbed in Radha Bhava. But for us, who is he? He is Radha Krishna Milittanu. He is the combined form of Sri Radha and Krishna. More specifically, who is he? Radha Bhava Dyuti Subalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. He is Krishna himself, covered by the mood and complexion of Srimati Radhika, her Bhav and Kanti. So therefore, with that mood, we apply Tulsi on his feet. No, with that mood, we worship him. No. So there are some very subtle understandings here. Like the other Vaishnavas are saying in Harikatha, no. Why do we apply the yellow tilak? No. Why do we, and we see the devotees in Radhakund, they apply the black tilak. No. And they say also, they say that, no. Others, they say that this black tilak comes from Radhakund itself. No, so we apply this and we apply the yellow tilak. Why? What is the reason? No, there must be some particular reason. No. So here you see, so the Vaishnavas, they said to Srimati Radhika herself, apply her own foot dust. No. What is Radhakund? Radhakund is not different from Srimati Radhika herself. But will Srimati Radhika apply her own foot dust on her head? How will she apply the foot dust of Krishna? No. Similarly, we see that being the followers of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we see, what does Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya say? He says, Malayaja Ujjvala Tilakam, he says. In his Sachitanayashtakam, he says, Malayaja Ujjvala Tilakam. Means Mahaprabhu especially puts this sandalwood tilak on his forehead. Means this tilak which is like yellow color. So similarly we see here that Srimati Radhika herself and Mahaprabhu himself, we see that Mahaprabhu being absorbed so much in the mood of Srimati Radhika, he has no consideration that he is Krishna himself. So therefore, we being devotees, we must understand who Mahaprabhu truly is. Because if we don't know who Mahaprabhu is, how can we possibly understand who Radha and Krishna are? No. You see, our connection is more with Mahaprabhu than even Radha and Krishna. Mahaprabhu, he appeared recently. And he taught us who Radha and Krishna are. No. So therefore, our relationship with him is more at our present stage, we should focus more on our relationship with Him. So therefore, with all these different understandings that our Guru have given, with all these different realizations of their hearts, with those particular realizations that they have given to us, if with that particular mood we listen to these classes, then we can hope to digest something. No. Or else what is the point? No, listening. So therefore, when we listen, we must listen with that one-pointed attention. And whenever we listen, we should listen with a temperament which is which is not exploitive. Means sometimes when we listen with many varied intentions. And what are they? Sometimes we think, I just have to sit here for Harikatha for 1 hour. So I have to sit here. Then the Vaishnavas say, sometimes for time pass, we sit here. Then if I don't come for class, then the Vaishnavas will chastise us. Saying, why are you not coming for class? It's so useless. What is the temple meant for? Only Katha, Kirtan, Arati, what else? You're not coming for this also. So therefore for time pass, we sit here. And sometimes we come with an exploitive temperament. Let me see what he's saying. Let me listen. Maybe I can find some fault. And then I can think about that fault. Sometimes we come to gain knowledge. Let me listen to what he's saying. When I listen to what he's saying, the same thing I speak in another place, I'll get pratishtha. I'll get so much adoration. But if we really come with a serving temperament, if we really try and we sit here in front of the Vaishnavas and we pray from the core of our hearts and we say that, I am very fallen, I have many anarthas, I am very wicked, I have so many different bad qualities, but still I only have this one semblance of a quality. What is that? Some desire to listen to Harikatha, some thirst, some greed. So Vaishnava Thakur, kindly accept this one quality of mine and kindly make your Katha enter the pathway of my ears. No. Like Narottam Thakur, what does he say? He said, Adosha Darshi Prabhu Patita Uddhar. He said, Vaishnava Thakur, you are Adosha Darshi. You never look at anyone's faults. And you are especially known as Patita Uddhar. No. Vaishnavas, when they were initiated, the name they received from Srila Bhaman Goswami Maharaj was Patita Uddharan Bandhavdas. That was the name they received first. Srila Bhaman Goswami. So Patita Uddharan Bandhavdas means he who is a servant, that well-wisher who delivers all the fallen, lonely souls. So Vaishnavas told this to Gurudev, and Gurudev said, you have this name, very sweet name, but it's very common. Sati Prema. So this way they receive that name. So this way we see that is this compassion that the Vaishnavas have in their hearts. So therefore we sit there in front of them, and we pray in that way, in that sincere way. Then why will they not listen to our prayers? They're bound to listen to our prayers. So in this way they have spoken over many years. They've spoken all these different leelas of Mahaprabhu. Spoken why Mahaprabhu came to this world, what he has come to give. Like if you see, even now many devotees have this conception that Mahaprabhu's Leela in Jagannath Puri is even higher than his Leela in Navadvip. Even now some devotees have this understanding. Like we see now, all these Leelas that the Vaishnavas are speaking from this book, that they are speaking, describing, they're all of Mahaprabhu's Navadvip Leela. But still some devotees have this conception that the Jagannath Puri Leela is more higher. Why? Because they say, that when Mahaprabhu was there, he was always absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radhika. In the Gambhira, he was undergoing so many ecstatic transformations. When you look at Chakat Parvat, you would be reminded of Giriraj Govardhan. When you look at the ocean, you would be reminded of Yamuna. So what can be higher than this? You never see those things happening in Navadvip. Mahaprabhu is dancing in front of Jagannath, and there he's telling Jagannath, you are that same Krishna and that same Radha. We are here in Kurukshetra, but we are not happy here. Rather, I see you on the banks of the Yamuna and Vrindavan, standing under a Kadamba tree, playing on your flute, playing the fifth note. So Mahaprabhu is absorbed in all these different sentiments of Srimati Radhika. Therefore, they say Jagannath Puri is higher than Navadvip. But Gurudev says no. Jagannath Puri, if you see there, Jagannath Puri is actually like Dwarka. Gurudev mentions that. So then we see Navadvip is like Vrindavan itself. And we see when Mahaprabhu was in Vrindavan, he performed his Naravat Leela. Nara Bhakt. Nar means human. What means like? His human-like pastimes he especially performed in Navadvip. But you don't see Mahaprabhu performing his human-like pastimes in Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu was very grave in Jagannath Puri. In Navadvip, who was he? He was Sachinandan. He was Nimai. He was Gaursundar. He was Gauranga. He had all these different names there. He was like a small boy there. Everyone would joke with him. He would play with his friends. He would wrestle with them in the Ganga. He said that when he would wrestle with all his friends, the entire Ganga would become muddy. He kept wrestling so much. He teased the girls, saying, "Oh, if you don't worship me, then I will curse you. That you will, when you grow, you'll have very old husbands. You'll be married to many different old people." So this way he joked with the girls there. He teased the Brahmins. He'd steal from Palavecha Sridhar. But you don't see Mahaprabhu doing those leelas in Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, who is he? He is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. No. Who is he? He is Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There Mahaprabhu is very, very absorbed in his inner sentiments. Mahaprabhu, he would not even give darshan to everyone. He would only come for Mangalarti, he would have darshan of Jagannath's Mangalarti, then he'd go back to the Mandira. He'd never come home. Only he'd meet his devotees who had come from Gauramandal for Chaturmasya for 4 months. He'd meet all of them and that's it. He'd never meet anyone else. But in Navadvip, we see how he's performing Sankirtan there. No, like we heard along with Srivas Thakur how he's doing Sankirtan there along with all his devotees. First, the Sankirtan was behind closed doors. Why? Because Mahaprabhu was training all his associates up. He was building the platform. And then Sankirtan was for everyone. No. Every day we sing this during Mangalarti. Bhakata Sammuha Lariya Sate Keva Nagara Raje. Along with all the devotees, he's going in all the streets of Navadvip. And he's doing Sankirtan with all of them. Now what is he saying? Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bolore Bolore Madanam Hari. Means fill your mouths with these names. Mukunda Madhava Yadava. He says he's going everywhere doing Sankirtan. No. Tathai Tathai Vajalako. Gana Gana Tahe Chanje Rao. As he's singing and he's doing Kirtan, his ankle bells, his anklets, they're also like, no, they're also corresponding to each other. They're also like making very beautiful sounds. No, they're tingling. His anklets, they're tingling. His ankle bells are tingling. And then this way, he's giving so much joy to the ears of all the devotees. He's giving so much joy to their eyes. No, all the devotees are having his darshan and they're so happy. They're listening to his kirtan. They're dancing with him. No. So this is his Leela in Navadvip. But in Jagannath Puri, there we see Mahaprabhu, he would not tolerate any of the slightest discussions by his devotees. He was very strict. Any devotee would do anything wrong, immediately chastising them. And not everyone even had the qualification to see Mahaprabhu whenever they wanted. Because Mahaprabhu, he would be even disturbed by some of the devotees. Like once, one relative of one devotee called Bhagavan Acharya. No, Bhagavan Acharya was a near and dear associate of Mahaprabhu. So once his nephew had written something, some poem. So he came and he wanted to recite this poem to Mahaprabhu. But first he had to recite it to Sarup Damodar Goswami. And only then could he recite it to Mahaprabhu. So when he went there, then Sarup Damodar Goswami, when he heard this, he said, "What are you saying? You are saying that Jagannath is the immovable Lord and Mahaprabhu is the movable Lord. Jagannath, he is the wooden form of Bhagavan and Mahaprabhu is the living form of Bhagavan. This is what your poem is. If Mahaprabhu listens to this, how much pain will feel in his heart? No, don't do this," he said. And then Sarup Damodar Goswami, he corrected that poem of his and then he had that recited. He had it recited to Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu was so happy when he heard it. But you see, Navadvip itself, so many different kinds of people, so many different kinds of scholars who are so proud. No, like we see Keshav Kashmiri. He had no understanding of Bhakti Bhajan, still Mahaprabhu delivered him. So many different kinds of sinful atheistic people. There was no sin that Jagai Madai did not commit. But still Mahaprabhu delivered them, Nityananda Prabhu delivered them. No. Like we see, Nityananda Prabhu, he spoke one particular line to to Maharaj in Bengali. You see, this one line, all the devotees have memorized this one line. This one line in Bengali. As for me, that's like the only line in Bengali that I've properly memorized. Because that line is mentioned everywhere. Such a celebrated line. Nityananda Prabhu, he told Maharaj, Narishish Koshir Kana, Tai Bole Ki Prem Nirvana, he said. That is the only one line that contains the essence of Mahaprabhu's prem. Nityananda Prabhu told Maharaj that just because you have hit me with this path, does that mean that I will not give you prem in return? Nityananda Prabhu told that. So this was the mood of Mahaprabhu and his associates in Navadvip. But in Jagannath Puri, it was more like, it was more constricted there. Because Mahaprabhu, there was more Gauravamai buddhi towards him. Means this mood of awe and reverence. In Navadvip more, there's Madhuramai buddhi. Means the sweetness there. So therefore, his Leela in Navadvip is always taking place eternally. Therefore, we see Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said in Jayavadharma that if one devotee has greed in his heart, if he really has greed in his heart, not only will he go to Golok Vrindavan, but in one particular spiritual form, he will also go to Shvetadvip, where Mahaprabhu is eternally performing his Leelas there. No, these pastimes that we are listening from the Vaishnavas, they concern Mahaprabhu's, they especially speak of Mahaprabhu's Leelas in Shvetadvip. No, you see, Golok Vrindavan is divided into two sections. It's called Prakosht. Prakosht means two particular chambers. So in one chamber, in one section, there is Radha and Krishna's Leela, and in one section, there is Mahaprabhu's Gaur Leela. So therefore, if in one life, Gurudev says, in one life you're serious, in one life you're surrendered, in one life you don't commit Vaishnava Aparadha, and in one life you're determined, then that one life can take you so far to the ultimate destination. And what is that? In one form we will also be with Radha and Krishna, and in one form we will also be with Mahaprabhu. And all these pastimes that we're listening will be a reality that we can perceive by our own eyes. A reality that we will be a part of. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has described this in Jayavadharma. Therefore we see that our Guru Varga, how do they look like in Shvetadvip? Gurudev says, just as they've descended in this material world, they look in that exact form in Shvetadvip also, as Mahaprabhu's associates there. Although here it seems that they're subject to all these different transformations, they are not. In their eternal spiritual forms, they present in their self-same forms in Shvetadvip as well. So therefore, we must have this greed. When will I be there with Mahaprabhu? No. In Mahaprabhu in Shvetadvip, he's never weeping there. You see, in Gambhira is always weeping. He's weeping so much that Govinda Prabhu, who is Mahaprabhu's seva, he thinks, why is he weeping this way? Sarup Damodar Goswami and Raya Ramananda, they come inside the Gambhira, they sing all these kirtans of Chandidas Vidyapati from Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govind, and they make him weep so much. Why do they make him weep so much? So therefore one day Govinda Prabhu, he didn't want Raya Ramananda and Sarup Damodar Goswami to come inside the Gambhira for like some time, because he said let Mahaprabhu relax for some time. But then when Mahaprabhu didn't see them, he asked Govinda, where are they? Then Govinda told Mahaprabhu, Prabhu, you are always weeping. In their association, you are always weeping in this separation. I cannot tolerate this. And Mahaprabhu said, if you will not bring them here, then I will weep even more, he said, in their separation. No. Therefore, he is always weeping, experiencing all these different sentiments there. But we see in eternal Shvetadvip, there also Mahaprabhu experiences this separation. But this separation is further enhanced by meeting, which is meeting of Srimati Radhika and Krishna. So therefore, our Guru Varga, they have delineated, they have described all these pastimes, one after another, one after another, one after another. Why? So that we can have this desire, that we can meditate on these leelas, we can meditate on these pastimes, and one day enter into these pastimes. No. Therefore, like the other day, the Vaishnavas is saying that Vrindavan Thakur as Vyasadeva, he had written so much about Krishna Leela. He had written so much about who Krishna is. But he didn't know who this Prachanna Avatar is. No, the Vaishnavas are repeating this word again and again. Prachanna Avatar, Prachanna Avatar. Who is this Prachanna Avatar? So then, when Vyasadeva took shelter of Mahaprabhu's associates, no. Vyasadeva, he was born as the son of who? Narayani Devi. Who is Narayani Devi? She is Kilimbika. Means she is the nursemaid of Krishna. She is the younger sister of Ambika. Who is Ambika? She is Malini Devi, the wife of Srivas Thakur. So this is when Vyasadeva took shelter of all these associates of Mahaprabhu, then he could understand who Mahaprabhu is, who God is. And then when he wrote this Chaitanya Bhagavat, although he had written Srimad Bhagavat, he had manifested that book, but when he wrote this God Bhagavat, Chaitanya Bhagavat, then this inner longing in his heart was satisfied. Then his thirst was quenched for this compassion. Because Mahaprabhu is this Audaramaya Vigraha. It's this form of compassion. Therefore, this compassion and this flow of compassion inundated his heart, then he could understand what God is. So therefore, we can only pray at the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas that despite all our anarthas, these anarthas are a big problem. Despite all our anarthas, despite all our avgunas, despite all our bad qualities, still they will not take us far away from their feet. Despite having all these different shortcomings, we can only hope that they keep us near the lotus feet and that they guide us towards our ultimate destination. Or else, Kelo Jadivas, Nayasi Pyar, Eve Krishna Ki Upai. Or else every day is passing, year is passing, every day is passing, no realization, no separation, nothing in our hearts. So we can only pray at the lotus feet that every day when they speak these leelas of Mahaprabhu, that these leelas can touch our hearts. And that we can realize that we have darshan of these leelas. This should be our sole prayer at the lotus feet. So this way, Anshar Kalpata Vishra Kripasin Vijaya Patikanam Pahambhyo Vaishnavyo Shila Gurudev Ki Jai, Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanakari Ruparga Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai, Samved Shri Gauravinda Ki Jai, Shri Svasha Sachinandan Gaurahari Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande